Hello, I've been growing tomatoes here at Homegrown Veg in the United Kingdom in my small greenhouse for a number of years now, and I've only ever grown them the one way. That is to take out all the side shoots and just let the plant grow as tall as it wanted to grow and support the plant. That's the only way I've ever grown them. I didn't know there was another way to do it until I watched a few videos on YouTube from US growers. And there's a tomato, a strain of tomato, that you wouldn't do that. You'd let all the side shoots develop, producing a smaller compact plant. It has a name, it's a Determinate tomato plant. How about that? Determinate, I've never heard of it. And the ones that I've been growing have been Indeterminate. What have they been? Have they been determinate plants grown as you would grow an indeterminate plant, taking out all the side shoots? Have I made a blunder? Well, I've never heard of this, as I've said, until I watched some of the US videos, US gardeners, and then it became apparent there was a couple of ways you could do this. So what I needed to do was look in my seed box at the tomatoes that I've been growing over the years, look at the packets, see which ones were determinate, see which ones were indeterminate, and then I would know if I'd been doing it wrong. So I got the packets out, and there's nothing on there. There's no indication as to that tomato plant being a determinate tomato plant or an indeterminate tomato plant. There just isn't. So I've actually grown tomato plants that were possibly determinate tomato plants, but I've grown them using an indeterminate method. I've taken off all the side shoots, let the plant grow as tall as it would grow in the growing season, and supported it. I'm going to conduct a small experiment this year. If you're a follower of mine, you'll know all my experiments tend to be small because I only have a small garden. I only have a small space to work with. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to grow for the first time a determinate tomato properly. It's a bit of an Heath Robinson setup that I've got. I'm only growing the one, I only have a dozen in there, and one of them I'm growing as a determinate tomato. And to do that, because it's low and compact, there's every chance that some of those fruit will develop and hang onto the greenhouse floor, and I don't want that. I need to get the plant up off the floor. So I've got a bit of an Heath Robinson setup outside. If you want to come and have a look, I'll show you what we're doing this year at Homegrown Veg in this teachy experiment. Come on. Let's go to the greenhouse. This is a couple of my tomato plants, and as you can see I've got them growing in fabric bags, and I've got the bags sat on the greenhouse floor, and I'm growing the tomato plants up string, up twine. So we'll take out all the side shoots on these tomato plants and we'll grow them as you would grow an indeterminate tomato plant, so that it grows as tall as it can through the growing season on that single stem. That's how we're going to be growing these and most of the tomato plants in this greenhouse. That's how I've always done it. Now let me show you this little experiment that we're conducting this year. This tomato plant is a variety called Roma. It's also growing in a fabric bag, but I've got that fabric bag sitting on a 10-inch water bucket full of soil. It's only full of soil to give it stability and so that that bag doesn't slip inside it. I'm not expecting the roots to go down that far. Perhaps some of the fruit might go down that far. And I'm calculating that if we get fruit on the bottom of this plant when it starts to develop fruit, those tomatoes might be 2 foot off the floor of the greenhouse. And what I'm hoping is that there's sufficient room for those tomatoes to hang down without actually reaching the floor of the greenhouse. That's my Erythromycin idea. It's up and running, going with it. If you want to know how this turns out, you'll need to watch subsequent videos, won't you? Yes, you will. Now, if you have any advice for me on growing determinate tomatoes, let's have it, because I've never done it before, and this is my first attempt, and I've only just got the one because I haven't got a very big greenhouse. But I will get some sort of result, won't we? Yeah, it'll be interesting. Yeah, come on, let's do it. Okay. So this is Homegrown Veg, signing out.